Hello, everybody. Jackson here with the Wells Squad. Today we're going to be talking about Warren Buffett's latest buys and sells. Uh, we're actually looking at his entire portfolio right now. So you can see exactly what he did in quarter three. He added 2.43% of Chevron, 22.58% of Occidental Petroleum. That is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, his sixth biggest position, passing Kraft Heinz. He reduced his shares in Activision Blizzard, and that is ongoing a merger with Microsoft, or not so much a merger, but an acquisition. Microsoft is trying to purchase Activision Blizzard. Apparently, Buffett doesn't think that's going to happen, or else he wouldn't have sold. He wouldn't have sold because Activision Blizzard is trading at a discount compared to where it's supposed to be sold at to Microsoft. I think it's 92 or 95. The quoted price is $74. I'm sorry, current price $73. So still, there's a lot of positive leeway that Buffett could have if he were to hold and it were to go through, but he apparently isn't so confident. But then he started a new position in Taiwan Semiconductor company, and that's a huge deal just because the stock's been so beaten up lately. And we'll go over that later as well. He reduced his U.S. Bank Corp position by 35%. It has not moved in a long time. It's a large bank stock, and it just is kind of dead weight. Reduced his Bank of New York Mellon by 14%. Kroger by 4%. He added 16% to his Paramount Global position. Reduced his GM share by 5.44%. Added 6% to Celanese, 8% to RH. Then he also bought Louisiana Pacific and Jefferies Financial Group as new stocks. So that is all what he did today. I'm sorry, within the last quarter. Now we're just going to go over these couple stocks that he's really adding up. So we could go over, I guess, the banks and Taiwan Semiconductor, as well as Activision Blizzard. So Apple isn't really necessary because although it is his biggest position by a large shot, you can see it's at 41%. He didn't buy or sell any more of Apple than he usually did. So, okay, let's look at TSM. So this actually is what I drew as when he supposedly bought the shares. And so we could get an average price that'd be around $80 or so. But you can see, guys, Taiwan Semiconductor, $140 was a high. The COVID low was 44. Right now it's at 73. So it's down 50% from the highs. Apparently Buffett thinks that's a deal, so he is buying. Besides that, we also had U.S. Bancorp. He's selling. There's not many people that individually hold this stock just because it's not much movement. It's kind of, this kind of stock is what you'd see in an index fund, but you would not see it individually in an investment portfolio. Essentially, the stock hasn't moved since, 20% since 2008, 34% since 2008, and it is still down 30% from the highs. Last time it was this price, you can see exactly was 2015, or a long time ago. So from 2015 to now, price hasn't changed, but you include those dividends. 2015, here's 2015 to now, and you can see it's 36 to 44. All you have to do is press adjusted and adjust for dividends. But so for dividends, yeah, it's doing okay, but besides dividends, it's kind of dead paperweight. So looking at Bank of New York Mellon, that's BNK, I believe. No, BNY. Bank of New BK. Yeah, okay, I was close. So this is adjusted for dividends. You can see it's the same price it was in 2017. Not adjusted, it is the same price it was 2015 or 2008. So it's kind of like 21 to 40. From the very depths of the financial crisis of it reaching 20, it's now 40. So it's doubled within 11 years. That's not very good, right? You want at least on par with SP 500, especially if you hold this stock over the long term. Then he also, let's see what else he also did. Actually, some Blizzard, US Bancorp, Bank New York Mellon. Those are kind of small. RH. So honestly, he added a lot of Occidental Petroleum, Chevron, and Activision Blizzard he cut. So let's look at these. All right, so I covered this a while back on an Instagram post, and essentially Microsoft is trying to buy this company for $95 a share. Okay, so $95 is that buyout price. The more it falls below that price, the more investors get wary, thinking that the deal will not go through. Upon that, of course, Activision Blizzard will fall, right? Because you see this huge jump when the deal was announced. And of course, if the deal is unannounced, like it's not going to happen, stock's going to fall. So that's why possibly he's selling. He doesn't think it's going to go through. It is a large transaction. It's not like Microsoft, like their main business is gaming, so it's kind of different. Who knows if regulators will allow that to happen? Buffett does not think so. He sold 12% of his position within the latest quarter. Then we got Oxy, his largest size in investment since I believe Apple. He's just buying the stock like crazy recently. But anyways, it was very, very, very close to going bankrupt during COVID. It was actually trading for around $10 a share. But it was very volatile, right? You can see $10, 3 months later, 23, 4 months later, back to 10. Since then, 944, stock's at 73, and Buffett added 22% to his position. He believes that it's not done growing yet. Good for him, right? I don't see it, but of course he does. And he does have some debt structures with them where they gave Buffett and Berkshire gave them money, and he gets some preferred stock, certain dividend percentage that's pretty dang high. So he's doing some insider deals with them, and that's hopefully it makes some sense. But besides that, I'm not too big in the oil stock, so I'm not too sure about Occidental. Same with Chevron. Chevron's at all-time highs. Yeah, he's still adding. Yeah, all-time highs. We can adjust for dividends. Crazy stock over the last however long it's been a stock. But at all-time highs, and Buffett is still adding on to his position. Chevron makes essentially refines oil and sells it. So it's in the oil business as well as Occidental Petroleum. From the COVID low, it hit 54. Now it's at 189, 188, approaching 200. Yeah, it's the same thing with this one. I'm not sure what he's thinking. Of course, it's at all-time highs. It could only go so much higher until it falls down again, right? At least that's what you think. So Buffett doing some weird things this quarter, I will say. Taiwan Semiconductor is kind of out of his circle of competence. So maybe some of his, employees, some of his supervisors are recommending that one. Besides that, not much action. Lots of Accidental Petroleum selling Activision, selling a lot of the banks, USB and BK. Yeah, so that's all he's done this quarter. At least he is buying. He's a net buyer because he added a whole bunch of Occidental Petroleum and Taiwan Semiconductor as well as Paramount, Celanese, RH compared to these. So I will say it. Not much are a screaming buy here besides, at least look into Taiwan Semiconductor and Paramount because he's been loading up on Paramount as well. 16% is a large percentage for something that hasn't gone up a ton like Occidental Petroleum already has. So that's my gist for you guys here. Hopefully you take some of it in and make some money with it. I wish you all the best. I'll see you Wednesday.